Welcome to the Love Them Knives channel. LTK here, talking to you about rake. I'm working my way through the rake line. I got on a binge with these guys. I was just so fascinated by the fact that these Chinese knives are coming in really, affordable and high quality. Look at this one. What an interesting design. Really kind of a gentleman's knife. It's got one blue thumb stud. It's got a little blue accent around the pivot collar. Look at the pocket clip. Very kind of small, unimposing, single screw there, but it's inset into the scale, so it's not going to move. No left-hand option on that, but you got a lanyard hole. Open design. You got your standoffs there. You got access to opening or disassembling the knife from both sides. So if you ever Loctited it accidentally and need to break that away, you could put a Torx on each side and break that away. You got access both sides on the screws for the standoffs. There's your blade stop. No jimping anywhere, but this is more of a gentleman's knife. Now you do have a lockout here to where you can keep from disengaging the lock bar. And what are we locked up at? Pretty heavy, probably about 50%. Disengage this. It's a steel frame knife. Done a lot of little design cues around here, up and bottom. Fairly simple, but I'd say they went for gentleman and elegant. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it opens. This is not as flickable, but this is pretty stiff because I really haven't messed with this much. So you have to give it a break. It's a little stiff right now. I think this will break in, and if I had to guess, I'd guess that they were bronze bushings in here. But they may be Teflon. I'm trying to look right now, and I'm not seeing specifically. So, don't know. You know, most of the rake knives are flippers or liner locks or whatever. They've got bearings on them. But nah, I don't think this one does. Interesting. Not a very big knife. Kind of a modified Wharncliffe sheep's foot flat grind. Pretty usable that way. How do we get with the cutting? Not a problem. Look at that edge on there. That's kind of cool. Well, let's see if it'll cut anything. Oops. First you got to make contact with the paper. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it does it. It's pretty sharp. Most of these rake knives are out of the box. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably not the super lightest carry because it's a steel frame, right? So let's check that out. Well, okay, we're eating crow today. 3.2 ounces, 91 grams. I mean, the only thing I got on my table that beats that, seriously, is my Mannix at 2.8. Okay, that's at 2.8, 2.9. Just gained a gram. Or a tenth of an ounce. This is right there with it. Now, this is a smaller knife, obviously. Check this out. It's a smaller knife. And the Mannix, it's like an EDC. It's a regular, everyday kind of carry size. It's an 8-inch overall knife. This one, much smaller. Pivot to pivot. Ooh, not too far off then. Right? Not all that different. Come here, Hollywood. So this is the paramilitary too, in case that's your comparative thing. Pivot to pivot, really the blade's not all that far off, but you know the para too, its handle's really long. Interesting though. I really kind of like this little gent's knife from Ruike. I just never really saw that one coming. Little out of the ordinary for them. $43.95, and of course that's a little overstated because this came off Phoenix site. They're the ones that make the rake knives, and if you were looking for the highest possible retail price, then this is where you find it. Okay, so here's your specs. I mean, you're pause and read if you want. Stonewash metallic or steel frame. And you got the little lockout deal there to keep it from disengaging on the lock bar. Here's your size, 7.7 overall, so it's under 8 inches. So it's 3/10 of an inch shorter than like a Mannix or something. Blade length, 3.4, so it's not tiny. It's really close to the Mannix. Blade thickness, not terribly thick, but about right for a knife that's only 93 grams, right? And I don't know why they say handle material is G10. They got that wrong. I have no idea. Let's hope they got the right knife in here, huh? In any case, there's your little schematic thing showing it. And then there was some, well, this guy didn't like it either. Oh, he thought the detent was too strong. This guy, he loved it. So go figure, right? You know what? When I first got this knife, it was not easy to deploy this. See how the thumb stud is right down here on this frame? Even though they got a little cutaway, it's still not easy. But, once you get it loosened up, it's getting easier and easier to deploy it. So this guy was saying I couldn't even deploy it. When I first got it, I pulled it apart like this because I was having a hard time with my thumb to deploy it. And I was going, man, this is no bueno. But it's just one of those things where your first flick is your worst flick on a lot of these knives. They just get better as you use them. I can imagine this will get to the point where you can flick it open. And I can't quite do that yet. Close. Getting closer. In any case, so, keep that in mind. This is not going to be one you get out of the box and just instantly, well, okay, there's a flick. Do that, but not, yeah. And it kind of depends on how you go about with the thumb stud. Some you have to come up like this. Some you got to come from below more. And I think this one's more coming down the line of the knife like that. So to do the flick, it's behaving much better. So I'd have to disagree with the second guy that says it's a 1-star. No, it's a well-made knife. It's centered perfectly. Very open design. It's all about the design at some point in time, but it's light, even for a steel knife. Well, let's check it out. I mean, did they actually mill anything out of the skeletonized? Oh, yeah, they did. Son of a gun. I mean, there's not a lot there. There's not the thickest steel handles I've ever seen. There you go. There's your answer. There's your answer. Just like that. So just a little under 8 inches. So this might be a little redundant. But, really depending on where you measure this blade, it's like 3 1/4 anywhere to 3 1/2 almost. And 7 5/8 overall, which is about 19 to 19.5 centimeters. Millimeters, 85 on the blade. Stock, just run over these real quick. 1/16 of an inch. About 3 millimeter. Not bad. Oh, How fat is it in your pocket? 9 millimeters. That's not very thick. 0.35. It's very slender. Very slender. 0.35. Yeah, very slender. Cool. So the blade almost. See that? Almost the same length as the Mannix. Just the scale's not. But I mean, so it's a pretty big little knife and 3.3 ounces. So really, really light. I mean, this is nothing but just like really super lightweight plastic, okay? This is solid steel frame lock, and it's damn near the same weight. And the blade length is damn near the same length. So how crazy is that? Comes in a neat box. I mean, these boxes are nice because here's the P831-SF. See that? You know, you got an outer sleeve, and then you got an inner box, and inside it's fitted for the knife, and you got paperwork. No microfiber cloths or anything. But, you know, centered up. You know, if you get one, just get ready because it's going to be pretty stiff out of the box. But it's getting better now. Yeah, the action is totally, there you go. And yeah, it's a little tub. Yeah, I was playing with, never mind, long story. Messing with a knife. Had to get my thumb in the way, which I'm doing right now, right? There you go. Flick. Thank you for joining me. I'm so good at that, especially with this thumb. And follow me on Instagram, because I usually do a little preview of these knives before I bring them up on my channel. Subscribe if you'd like as well, because we have table sales, we have giveaways. Got to be a subscriber to win, and the giveaways and the table sales are weird and wonderful. There's all kinds of knives at all kinds of prices, usually very, very good prices. So stay tuned for that. You know what we do around here. Yeah, we love them knives. So stay sharp.